Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Skyblock, and in today's video I wanted to cover the new update that they released recently. I know I'm a little late, but I have exams and Skyblock is only my number 2 priority right now. Well, anyways, moving on. So they added a few new NPCs and a few new accessories. Let's start with the accessories. They have added this thing called Anita's Artifact, which gives you 25 farming fortune on the random crop during a Jacob's contest. You can see them by either going to the Jacob and hovering over here. You can see the next one is going to be potato with extra farming fortune, or you can just look it up in tab. Yeah, so another thing that they added is this thing, the vacuum. It has 5 different tiers, but they all serve basically the same purpose. The basic tier you get by talking to Philip, the guy that I'll show in a second. You can upgrade it, and as you can see, it gets new abilities and a damage upgrade. So yeah, here's Philip. You talk to him, you get the basic tier of the vacuum. You can search for pests and exchange them for a half an hour farming fortune bonus. You take that bonus and you farm with it. I primarily I try to gather somewhere between 10 to 15, then I use them to try and get gold medals, because I don't have all of the gold medals yet. In fact, I only have 4. But moving on, after you finish Philip's quest, you're gonna have to talk to Pamela, or something like that. She's gonna give you this thing called the Sprayinator, and it has primarily one use: just spawn more pests. It has 5 different ingredients that you can use. You can see them here in the chat. I use tasty cheese because it's cheap, 3,000 per unit. Then you just go over to a plot, right click, and for half an hour you have a higher chance of spawning a pest that the bait is attracting. So how do you actually spawn them is pretty easy. You just farm. With every broken crop, I believe, there is a small percent chance of spawning them. But there is also cooldown between each spawn, something like the cherries during the cherry mayorship. I don't know what the timer between pests is, but I'm sure it's somewhere around like 10 minutes or something. And that should cover pretty much everything, except one last thing. The pests that I mentioned earlier have a bestiary. As you can see, it gives you a farming fortune bonus. There are 10 different types of pests, and each of them has a bestiary. With each tier, as you can see, you get 0.4 extra farming fortune. And also the pests have different drops, and some of them have a RNG drop like that one. And now, moving on, I should probably start doing something actually interesting. So that should conclude about everything about the update, and yeah. Moving on to the things that happened while I was away. So the first thing that I wanted to mention is the Golden Dragon. I have hatched it. It's level 103. It turns out that Golden Dragons don't have level 100. They jump straight from 99 to 101, which is a little weird, but I don't know. It is what it is. So another thing that I wanted to mention is math. My math classes have had a little absurd thing happen. So my teacher in math is not really strict or anything. He doesn't give us a seating plan, or he used to not give it to us, because a few weeks ago, like a few days after my previous recording, my class annoyed him so much that he just could not let us sit together. He had to come up with a seating schedule where we had 2 places between each of the students. Like 2 empty seats between each student. I'm not exaggerating. Thankfully that wasn't a problem, because the math class that we have is like huge. It's not, I don't think it's supposed to be a math class, but it is one. It even has a little, like, somewhat of a scene and a projector and everything. But yeah. And I should stop saying "and." I should come up with a different transition between topics. So I have dropped a Warden's Heart, and I tried to record it to get like at least a short video, the one that I have done for Combat 60 and Inferno Slayer 4, I believe. I tried to make another one, but for Warden's Heart, but OBS decided that he did not want to record it. I tested it 5 minutes before I got it, and when I looked at the footage of the heart itself, it was just a static image. The audio was fine, but the image was static. By the way, I dropped it through the RNG meter, so I knew that I was going to drop it. And yeah, OBS just decided, no, you don't get any video, only audio. I think I'm going to conclude the video for today, because I also want to keep at least something for the next week. I have a few things left for the next week, but not much, so I'll try to come up with something. So that was another episode of Skyblock, and thank you for watching if you did. Thank you for listening if you did. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because that's going to boost my YouTube analytics. And if you did none of those things, then